So we can start now. So SOCE welcomes everyone in the third session of Intern Chat. Today we will be focusing on Quant profile. For that we have Chirag, Sparsh and Srajan. They all got intern at World Quant. So they will be sharing their experiences and views regarding the same. So seniors, you can take it from now. Aman, share the screen.
Thank you, Shubham. So let's start. So move to the next slide, Aman. Basically, first of all, I'm Srajan Jain, and we have Sparsh and Chirag also here, and we all the three of us are working as quantitative research intern at WorldCon. So let's start with what is quant. So this is a very basic definition of quant trading. So it involves the use of computer algorithms and programs based on simple or complex mathematical models to identify and capitalize on available trading opportunities. So basically, in very layman terms, our role is to analyze the previous data and form trading strategies. So that's all about quant, I think, and more of that you can research yourself. So move to the next slide. Okay, so which companies come to our campus for hiring in the quant section? So many of them come, and I have not listed them here. So there's Jane Street, Tower Research, and many other companies which are not open for civil department. So those I haven't mentioned over here, but they are there. Other companies I have mentioned here, which are open for all departments, which are Optiver, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Barclays, WorldQuant, Deutsche Bank, and Edelweiss. So most of these are trading firms or investment banks, and they hire for the role of quant researcher or traders or analyst. So move to the next slide. So now the most important thing, that is the skills required if you desire to get an internship in quant section. So according to me, the most important skills are probability, statistics, and puzzles, because that is what they focus on when they take your interview for these roles and also in the test. But data structures and algorithms, as always, are like necessary for all the roles and are like really important. So you must focus on them. And but the thing different here is from the software roles and the analyst roles is the probability and statistics and puzzles, because the major focus of the interviewers and in the test is on these things. Also, they ask maths and aptitude, but that's very trivial and JE level, so you can do it. But yes, you can, if you have the time, you can work on increasing the speed for increasing your speed. And also ops and machine learning. So these are not required as such, but if you have knowledge of these topics, then it's really a plus point for you, because if the interviewer asks and you are able to tell him, then it's good. For also no prior knowledge of these stocks, futures. So if you don't have any financial knowledge, then you don't need to worry, because they don't expect that from you. However, again, I will say that if you know the basic financial terms, and if they ask, then it will be a good impression. So yes, you can work on it, but primarily I like tell you to first focus on probability, statistics, puzzles, and DSA, of course. Okay, next slide. How to start and where to practice from. So this is the important thing. So for DSA, like these are the most famous resources: Interview Bit, Code Forces, and Lead Code. You can for quant, like some of the companies don't ask very difficult questions, so you can try to cover a wide range of questions rather than doing difficult questions from a certain topic. And yes, I will like recommend you to stick to one of them and then try to complete it. Like Interview Bit is best for that thing. For probability and statistics, if you have done HSO 201 or MSO 201, it's great, because that is the syllabus and the things that you need. And if you have not done, these slides contain the notes of Neeraj sir, so you can have a look at them. The slides are really good, and you can do it. Also, 50 challenging in problems in probability. This book is a must-do book. Like, you should know each and every problem by heart. You have to remember them, I think, if you are not able to solve them, because these are the problems that are repeated. Like even in our interviews, also some of the problems are from this book only. So do this very nicely, and also practice probability and statistics from Brain Stellar also. For aptitude and puzzles, you can refer to these sites. However, like I will recommend you to leave these for the end, because currently you should focus on prob stats and coding, because these are the important parts. And quant books, there's this link of this book, so you also can have a look on that if you have the time only. Next slide. So what was our overall experience? So we, Spurs or Chirag, will you like to share your experience first?
I think I can start. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So, what was my experience like? The first of all, what you have to done is the CPI must be like good. Like the first thing the companies ask for is CPI. The selection criteria for the test is for CPI. And the second one in the test, they ask like what is quant. Like no, they don't ask me what is quant. So, like basic aptitude questions, there were some hard level probability questions for how much CPI? I think at least 8 is needed for some companies like Optiva, and those will come in phase one. The CPI criteria, I think it was like you can give test, like you will be get selected, you will clear the rounds, but still you don't get interview call. There's like just I think 9 was for them. But in the phase two, I think it was 8, I think, for the test, and then it was based on the what how you perform in the test. And the most important part is for the test, like I'm telling you especially about the word point, like the questions were from probability and stats, and there were some tricky questions. There were some questions from programming too, but the questions were very easy, like some based on time complexity of different algorithms and simple basic loops and array. Like there were no questions from TN graph. If you don't know, then it's okay. But I'm just saying this for word point. And then in interview, there were 2 rounds. First round was basically focused on probability stat and puzzles and tricky questions and resume based questions. So what I want to tell you everyone is that don't write anything you don't know about in your resume. First, the very basic first question every interviewer asks is, tell me about you, like walk me through your resume or something like that, and then you have to explain the project, and then he will quote you if you don't know about the projects you have written in the resume. So like I written the resume, there was a project on trade, so like he asked some questions from that, and there were some case study, like he asked me like how will semiconductor industry will perform in upcoming future, like what you think. So that was question I wasn't expecting, but yeah, they can ask any general questions. And like for probability and puzzles, I what I did, like there were gaps of I think week after selection for interview list come out and before the date of interview. So what I did, I prepare most of the puzzles from Brainstaller. There is one site called Gurmeet, and there is another one I think was from IIT Bombay students called CSE Blow. I think I prepare from them, and like yeah, I prepare from 50 quant problems, but I think that is a very long book and the problems are too hard. But I think it's okay if you done problems from Brain Taylor, and yeah, it's good site for that. And they in the interview they ask basic finance too. It's okay if you don't know, but like if you are weak in some other part, like you don't know DSA, then it will be advantage if you know basic finance. For finance, what I did, I prepare from an app that was from Zero. I think Varsity was the name of the app. So you can download it from Play Store. It's a very good app. You can use it. And in the second round too, they asked me basic questions related to DSA and finance, like what is like they asked me some questions from project, and like I did course on microeconomics, like intro to economics and something ES 101. So they asked me questions from them, like what you know about these. They asked some basic finance terms. Some of them I knew about, some of them I don't, but still. And like I don't. I think that's more like they don't ask very hard questions from the DSA part, but yeah, there are some basic questions like difference between some algorithms, sorting algorithms, and I told them like I do coding in Python, so they asked me some questions specific related to Python, and I had a project which was in machine learning, so they asked us very simple question from that too. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Like prepare well and don't hesitate to reach out to seniors anything you want, and don't write anything on project which you don't know. That's all from my side, Srajan.
First, can you take you over from here, or let me
Yeah,
share first? Okay, go ahead.
sure. So like most of the things have been covered by Chirag, but I would like to add few points from the perspective of interview. I would say that do research about every company you are about to go to interview for, and always ask at the end of the interview questions regarding your role, regarding the company, or what are you expected to. That gives a nice impression. Also, make your resumes according to the profile you are planning to target upon, and apply using only those resumes to that selected profiles. And also like code every day. Do not procrastinate about anything. It's high time now. You've just got 20 days left before your internship test starting. So like code every day and stop procrastinating. Whatever profile you are targeting, do prepare well for that. And also you can try studying in groups. I think it might be helpful for many of the people. It helped me a lot when I studied in the group, and I used to do things easily and fastly. And also get your resume reviewed by seniors. Prepare it well before the mentioned deadline so that you can get important points and you can change accordingly. Yeah, that's it from my end, sir.
Okay. So my experience was also more or less same. So I can tell you about the procedure of WorldQuant specifically here. So for WorldQuant, the CPI criteria was 8, and if your CPI is greater than or equal to 8, then you could give the test. So the first round was the test, and in the test there were mostly the questions of probability, statistics, maths, and very easy coding questions, I'd say, and some difficult puzzles. So I will answer the questions after. So this was the first round, and after the first round, all of those who cleared the test were invited for the first interview round. In the first interview round, so they asked about basically probability statistics questions, also puzzles. Like in interview, puzzles are the most important thing, and puzzles very similar to those at Brainsteller were asked, and they look at your thought process and how you explain the puzzles, how you approach the problem well. So this was the first round. I was also asked a DSA question. So in DSA question, I was asked a very easy question regarding stacks and queues, and that was also because in my resume there was DSA mentioned. For some people like Chirag said, they don't focus much on DSA. Now, after the first interview round, there was a second interview round. Also, they asked probability statistics and PSA, and some questions related to statistics, basically correlation and things which you learn in HSO 201 or MSO 201. So that's why I was emphasizing that you should like complete those courses, and if not, then you can look at the slides that I have shared. And also, I would say that there was an HR round. There was supposed to be an HR round after these two rounds, but it didn't happen because all of the candidates which were selected after the second interview round were selected for the company. So that was our experience with WorldQuant. And also like some other things will be that your resume making. So as first said, make different resumes for different profiles. Me myself prepared for SD profile and data science profile also, along with Quant. So I made different resumes for all those profiles, and like submitted them according to the company profiles. And basically, I would say that get your resume verified by at least 5 seniors, because like first, when we make the resume for the first time, we are not that good at it. So it's totally fine if you approach the seniors and just ask them to review your resume, and again go for iterations again and again until you get the perfect resume. And that's it from my side also. That was my experience basically. prepare in groups and don't get worried if you like don't have knowledge about quant or anything, because I myself didn't prepare specifically for quant, and once I could pass the test of Quant, there was 1 week after that, and in that week I like did that 50 problems book completely and did brain stellar. So don't worry that you haven't done anything till now, because you can do it afterwards also. Just target for the profile and the company. I think I'm done. So next slide, Aman.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
thanks. That was it.
like I just want
Maybe
to
next
say
slide
one.
also. Yes, Ira, go ahead.
So what I just want to say, like you must be thinking like they focus too much on puzzles. Like what if we don't know and they ask a new puzzle? So yeah, don't matter how much you cover, there will always be some puzzles you will left out, and interviewer will ask you a new puzzle. So what they want to know is how you process things. Like what is your thought process? Like there was a puzzles that they asked me, like I don't know about that, and I couldn't even solve it because that was very hard puzzle. But they got me because I was able to explain like how I think, and that's what that matters. Because they don't want you to understand and remember every puzzle, but they want to know your thought process. So that's the main part. So even if you don't know something in interview, like it's okay, but you must show them how you gonna approach things if you don't know something about it. Do you prepared for all the profiles, SG, Quant, and data science? Rajan?
Yes, I prepared for basically I was doing coding for an year, so I was more or less prepared for SD profiles. And for quant, basically whenever I got shortlisted for a company, I would just go over Brainsteller and like look over some puzzles, so that would warm me up. And for data science, I did the course machine learning course from NG also. So basically I wasn't sure about which profile I want to work in, so that's why I like went through all of the material, but that I didn't prepare full-fledged for every profile. My main focus was on SD. Although I preferred quant, but as a student from the civil department, I didn't have many opportunities in the quant domain, so main focus was on SD. How much CPI? So CPI criteria for world quant, as I said, was 8. For some companies, it was 8.5, but for Optiver, it might be more than 8.5. But for rest companies, I think A plus you are safe, and you are very likely to get an intern quant if you have completed all the other things. Is there any company which does look after CPI? Chirag, you will answer that maybe.
I don't think there is any company related to Quant which does not look up for CPI. There are other
Yeah,
profiles like SD.
even if they don't look at the CPI,
Initially in
they
the test
like
you might
they
get select, but even if you perform well in the test, you might not get select for the interview.
exactly. But yes, there might be some question. I think Edelweiss was there, which didn't look for CPI, but it didn't shortlisted us further, maybe because
But
of CPI also. So
I
there
think
are
there are
unset criteria.
like, yeah, if you don't have CPI, still you can get an intern, but for that you must have a like other thing that will say like finance knowledge is not required. Then you must cover these domains like ML knowledge. These are like things those are not essential. Then you must cover them too. Like if you want to sounds heavy during resume or in your resume. And there is another question: which app you suggested for practicing finance? For finance, I think it was Varsity from Zerodha. I don't think there is any app for practicing DSA.
For DSA, you can use interview bit or
Yeah,
leak code.
yeah.
Yeah, how much knowledge about finance is required? So uh, no knowledge about finance is required as such, but as we said repeatedly that it might be advantage to you if you have some knowledge. So I would highly recommend that before going to interview, you have a lot of time. Even if you have 1 day, then you can invest 1 hour in learning about some basic financial terms, and you will be good to go. Any other questions? Maybe you can unmute yourself and ask. is their coding down? So, well, for some companies it was there. Like there's a combined assessment kind of round. There are questions of probability, statistics, and maths, and there are one or two questions of coding also in most of the companies, I think. Basically, you need to know coding. Like you can't skip that part. But yes, if you're not very good at it, then it's fine because you can cover with other things, right, Chirag?
Yeah, yes. Like that was the case for my part. Like I even now I don't know coding too much, but still I got selected because I performed well in my first round where they asked me questions related to puzzles and stats. World Quant came in phase two, and the other companies came in phase one, like which were on the list.
One who is
One
focusing for SD roles till now, is it possible to also cover things of quant? Basically, how should now to approach? Okay, so if you're focusing for SD roles till now, then it's very good because quant is something that you can cover in less period of time also. For coding, you need to build that intuition in yourself. So, yes, if you can start now with the basic things like HSO 201 course and the puzzles and probability thing, then I think you are very good to go. And I think you can do both of these things simultaneously. Like you don't code every day, right? Every hour of the day. You can invest some time to SD and some time to quant. When World Quant came, so World Quant came in phase two. I guess it was March, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, it was once. Yes, puzzles were asked in the test.
Yes, our puzzles asked an aptitude test. So, as I said, that the assessments were more of a mix-up of all these things. So, some of the puzzles, some aptitude questions, and some probability questions, and one or two coding questions.
Excuse me. Hello.
So, it's better if you're prepared for everything.
हेलो. Am I audible?
yes.
uh, जब आपने मतलब फर्स्ट फेज में आपने सरवाइव कैसे किया? फिर फर्स्ट फेज में मतलब फर्स्ट फेज में क्या माइंडसेट था आपका अगर फर्स्ट फेज में नहीं लगेगी तो?
Like I am telling about myself. Like I tried for just 10 or 15 days, then I just shut off the. Like I at last I didn't apply for most of the companies. Then even in the second phase, I was not sure like should I apply or not. But then my friend suggested me, yeah, just try at least. You might get intern, and then apply. And then WorldCont came, and then
So what should our mindset?
you must apply always. Like I might have got intern in the first phase itself if I prepared well. Like I didn't knew anything about the coding, so that was the weakest point of myself. That's why I don't qualify all the rounds, coding rounds. That is from me.
हम्म। ये जस्ट मेरा केस अलग था। मैंने मतलब प्रिपेयर किया था समर में कोडिंग के लिए काफ़ी अच्छे से, एंड फेज वन में जब मेरी नहीं लगी तो मुझे काफ़ी मतलब बुरा लगा था। बट जब तुम अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ रहोगे तो उस तरीके से ही हैंडल कर सकते हो। और लाइक मैं कोडिंग टेस्ट कर रहा था पूरे, बट यू नो लाइक वी आर फ्रॉम सिविल डिपार्टमेंट, एंड थोड़ा सा बायस रहता है कंपनीज का, बिकॉज एकदम नॉन टेक्निकल ब्रांच हो जाती है। सो इवन मैं अगर पूरे क्वेश्चंस कर भी लेता था तो देन ऑल्सो दे डिडंट शॉर्टलिस्टेड मी मेनी टाइम्स। तो थोड़ा लो फेज आता है, बट इफ यू आर स्ट्रांग देन यू कैन हैंडल। बेसिकली मैं और स्पर्श साथ में करते थे, एंड हम लोग उन कंपनीज में अप्लाई नहीं करते थे जब स्टाइपेंड हमको ठीक नहीं लगता था या रोल सही नहीं लगता था। हम वेट कर रहे थे वर्ड क्वांट जैसी किसी कंपनी का फ्लैट के लिए।
अच्छा.
अपने फ्रेंड्स के
Okay, okay.
साथ हो जाएगा मैंने।
Like
यस।
मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग यही है कि फ्रेंड्स के साथ रहो, क्योंकि अभी तुम्हें लग रहा है अभी ठीक है, इजी है, चिल है, अभी कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन अभी 1 अगस्त से जब स्टार्ट होगा फिर फेसबुक पे पोस्ट आनी स्टार्ट होंगी समर सॉर्टेड टाइप्स की, तब तुमको लगेगा कि हाँ यार हम क्या कर रहे हैं, अभी तक हमने क्या किया है। तो ठीक है, अगर आप फ्रेंड्स के साथ रहोगे तो ज़्यादा अच्छा रहेगा। लाइक ठीक है, और कुछ?
Is the CPI of fifth sem counted for second phase? For
Yes.
second phase, yes, the CPI of fifth sem is counted.
And summer
Could you tell? Yeah,
phase one for phase one
for phase one, yes, summer CPI is counted.
counted.
Yes, can you confirm that? I'm not sure.
I don't
Most
think
of it was
summer
counted.
CPI is counted because the summer's result come usually at the end of July, and your resumes get submitted around mid of July. So I don't think the CPI of summer semester will be counted for the first phase internship.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
I think second phase intern starts from December last or January, I think.
January second week generally.
Yeah.
And for the test start from, I think, August only or before that. Some of the tests start in August, right?
Test starts
I don't
around last
remember
week of July
properly.
Yeah, for first phase.
for
Yeah,
first
last
phase,
week of July.
and for second phase third week of January.
Uh,
I
and can you
asked in
also
the
tell
earlier.
the interview date first? When did the interview start?
Sorry,
Can you also tell
for the
for the timeline when
first.
did the interview started and
Uh,
when did the first phase ended?
So for the interview, first phase interview started around the first weekend of August. So whenever the first Saturday Sunday comes, usually the interviews start around that time, and it ended just before the end semester exams, so mid-November. But most of the companies do come generally around August and September, and then in the last part, like October and November, usually the startup comes in the first phase. The major companies usually come around in the month of August and September, and the startups come after that. The second phase starts from second week of January to before the end semesters of even semester. So the same way it goes. Yeah. Any other questions? What time period we have to give? So, like, if you haven't started preparing your resumes till now, I would suggest that you start it right away, because it will take time for you to think upon the points you want to write in the projects, internships, or the PRs you have. And so, like, it will take, I think, around 3-4 days to create the first draft. Then you get it reviewed from multiple seniors, then incorporate their changes, then repeat the same process till you are satisfied with your resume and you feel like this is the best I could get out of it. So I would suggest that start preparing from now if you haven't started making your resumes. And as soon as you make the draft, get it reviewed by multiple seniors.
Are there any other questions? Like पूछ लो यार, कुछ भी हो तो बेसिक से बेसिक चीज पूछ लो. रेज्यूमे में क्या लिखना चाहिए और क्या नहीं लिखना चाहिए, क्या पूछा जाता है.
हाँ,
Anything
मतलब
अगर
जो भी छोटा बहुत भी डाउट है, कैसा भी डाउट आ रहा है पूछ लो.
सेशन के बाद भी अगर हम तीनों में से किसी को भी अप्रोच करना चाहो तो कर सकते हो. लाइक वी विल हेल्प यू इन एवरी वे वी कैन.
आप कैंपस में हो क्या अभी, मतलब?
हाँ, आई एम इन कैंपस में, हॉल 5 में हूँ.
ओके.
मैं भी कैंपस में हूँ अभी.
मैं कैंपस में नहीं हूँ.
ओके.
Like, you can contact us to call or through Facebook Messenger anytime.
यस, बाकी तो चिल करो. और बेसिकली इंटर्नशिप में तो लक का काफ़ी फैक्टर रहता है, और ये भी रहता है कि सिविल डिपार्टमेंट को थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम रहती है शॉर्टलिस्टिंग में. बट होल्ड करो, और मतलब कंपनीज आती हैं, फेज 2 में भी काफ़ी अच्छी कंपनीज आती हैं, तो अपने वर्क तक रुको. कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर
बस यार थोड़ा पैनिक मत करो कि मेरा शॉर्टलिस्ट नहीं हो रहा है, मेरा सिलेक्शन नहीं हो रहा. राइट टाइम आने पे अपने आप यू विल गेट द अपॉर्चुनिटी. हम लोगों को भी थोड़ा लो फील होता था व्हेन वी डिडंट गेट एन इंटर्न इन द फर्स्ट फेज एंड हमारे विंग की स्किल लग रही थी, हमारे दोस्तों की लग रही थी, बट वी जस्ट kept practicing about we just kept practicing learning things. तो फिर बाद में जाके सेकंड फेज में लग गई थी इंटर्न. तो खुद पे भरोसा रखोगे तो लग जाएगी इंटर्न. बस मोटिवेशन मत लूज करना, बाकी सब चलेगा.
फेज 2 में अलग से रिज्यूमे सबमिट करना पड़ता है क्या बाद में
हाँ
वापस?
हाँ
हाँ.
ओके.
बाकी रेज्यूमेस हम लोग अपने एसओसी से शेयर कर देंगे एंड आई थिंक दे कैन शेयर दैट विद यू. कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर भी you can get from resume, or maybe you can use messenger to contact us, or LinkedIn, anything. हाँ, और किसी को कुछ क्वेश्चंस हो तो पूछ सकता है अभी भी. एकदम चिल समझो सब कुछ.
कैसा भी डाउट हो, बहुत छोटा सा भी, जो भी कुछ पूछना है पूछ लो.
अगर इंटरव्यू बिट में
हाँ,
हम अभी जो भी हिट्स और मैप्स में मान लीजिए, तो हमें कौन से स्पेस से चलना पड़ेगा लास्ट तक ग्राफ तक करने के लिए?
पेस बढ़ानी पड़ेगी तुमको, क्योंकि
लाइक
स्टार्टिंग
डीपी
की कंपनीज
और
में ग्राफ और डीपी पूछा जाता है स्टार्टिंग की. अगर एसपी के लिए कर रहे हो देन पेस तो बढ़ानी पड़ेगी तुमको. बेसिकली ग्राफ और डीपी ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो मैं तो यही रिकमेंड करूंगा कि तुम पूरा पूरा मत करो हर एक सेक्शन, बल्कि हर सेक्शन का थोड़ा थोड़ा करो और सारे टॉपिक्स कवर करो पहले, उसके बाद शुरू करना, पूरा करना. मतलब तो बेसिक नॉलेज होनी चाहिए ग्राफ और डीपी की, सो दैट यू कैन एटलीस्ट अटेम्प्ट द क्वेश्चन.
ओके.
If there are no other questions, maybe we can end the meeting. Kindly share PPT. Aman and Feza, can you take care of that?
Yeah, PPTs and all other stuff will be shared to all of you via mail. If anyone has doubt or anything, they can ask right now. Otherwise, they can contact the seniors. Okay, so thank you for this wonderful session, Srajan, Chirag, and Sparsh. That was really grateful session.
Thank you, Shubham.
Okay, we can end this meet now.